Hey everyone, Karu here with another Gamedibs.com video game review. Today I'm reviewing Ys 3, Wanderers from Ys, which is an action role-playing game developed by Nihon Falcom Corporation, and it was released in 1989. I will be reviewing the TurboGrafx-CD version, although there were numerous releases on several other systems such as the Famicom, Super Nintendo, the Genesis, and even the PS2 got a port of it in 2005 where the graphics were redone, which I really enjoyed. But basically the plot line of this game is that it takes place 3 years since the events of the first two games. Your main character, Adal, whichever you prefer to call him, and his friend Dogi, you guys are on your way to Dogi's hometown of Redmont. Once you get there, you learn that the townspeople of Redmont are being threatened by men from nearby Valestein Castle, and your main character decides to help them out in any way that he can. Now, for fans of the Ys series, I don't have to tell you this game is drastically different from the first two. The first two games used a top-down camera view, while this one is a strictly side-scrolling platform action-style game. The combat's also different, as in you have to press a button to make your character swing a sword and attack enemies. It does retain some of its RPG-style aspects, such as the experience system, but new to this one is the ring system, where your character can acquire and equip rings that provide special effects, like the time ring and the power ring. Now, there's another thing called ring power, which depletes when you have a ring equipped. It maxes out at 255, and you can have it restored in the town of Redmont, which is a cool feature, I suppose. But while you have this ring equipped, your number for the ring power will keep dropping. So, use them wisely is all I can say. Now, there's a bunch of different areas in this game. Right now I'm in the lava pit. The storyline, I think, is pretty nice. The TurboGrafx-CD version has voice acting, whereas in most of the other ports use just strictly text. Your main character never ever speaks. Your main character always uses text. And here you can see the world map. This is after you leave Redmont, you'll always arrive at this map. You can pick your location. I think the game is very good. I have a few small problems with it. One, I don't like the scrolling on the TurboGrafx-CD version. Sometimes it's just an eyesore depending on the location you're going through. Seriously, it really bugs my eyes at times, especially when you're in the Tigray mines or in the background to the ruins. It just scrolls past and it's kind of jittery looking. Also, sometimes the audio, when it's finished playing its song, it'll go to another track entirely and then stop after a couple of seconds and then go back to the proper track it's supposed to go to. But small issues, no big deal. This game can be very difficult, as in you can walk into the first area where the enemies are and you could die within a number of 2 or 3 hits, rather easily. Now, my favorite port of this game is the Super Nintendo port, and that's mainly because of the lack of eyesore scrolling, and I really like the soundtrack on it. The soundtrack on this one is Redbook Audio, and it's excellent, but I just prefer the Super Nintendo sound chip and the way it made it sound a lot more. It's just my preference. But overall, I think this is a very fun game. Most fans of the Ys series have seemed to shun it because it was so much of a departure from the original games that it was just a major turnoff, and a lot of people just didn't like it. And to the people that did like it, the majority of those people that liked it were not fans of the Super Nintendo release, which is fine. It's all personal preference and taste. I thought they were both great releases. The PS2 re-release I thought was awesome as well. So if you haven't tried that, definitely check this game out. But overall, I think it's a decent action platformer game that has spectacular music. The graphics are nice. They're nothing spectacular and amazing, but they are good. The voice acting is absolutely terrible. I hated the voice acting in this game. It's just really cheesy and dull and lifeless. and it just looks like people were, it just sounds like people were just sitting in a chair reading from the script, and they recorded the first take and said, hey, you know what, we're gonna go with that. But I don't know, I guess this game has kind of a cult following. I have no idea, but it's always been a personal favorite of mine ever since I played it on the Super Nintendo. And back then when I was a child, I pronounced it Wise, even though there's no apostrophe between the Y and the S, but I was a dumbass little kid, so... And, you know, playing the Super Nintendo version, you know, you never hear any spoken dialogue, so you don't know what it's supposed to be called. But I always called it Wise, and hopefully I'm not the first person to make that mistake. But it's pronounced ease, as in, like, it's easy to do something, or to put you at ease. Just to clear that up for those who don't know. But anyway, as far as TurboGrafx-CD games go, this is absolutely one of my favorite, by far. Especially for the soundtrack. The soundtrack, you see that glitch there? I'm sorry, that kind of threw me off. So this has been Ys 3, Wanderers from Ys. I reviewed the TurboGrafx-16 CD version, but it's on many other consoles. You can look that up online and check the game out if you're curious. I think it's a very good game and it's worth trying. Until next time, take care everybody.
Game over, yeah!